Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be going over Instagram. A lot of you have been asking for more information on how you can grow your Instagram, what you really need to be doing on Instagram to be able to grow, and how you can work it into your Scentsy business. So that's what we're going to be covering today. All right, so let's go ahead and let's dive in. So first of all, let's talk about Instagram in general, right? Instagram, if you've used the platform before, you know, it's pretty user friendly, right? You have your feed, which that is where you're going to see everything from everyone you are following, okay? And then you have the different types of media that you can put on Instagram. So of course, you know, you can put pictures. So that would just be a post of a picture. You can put what is called carousels of pictures. Now, the carousels on pictures are just being able to share multiple pictures. So the user can just scroll through and they will be able to see if it's, for example, like we just released a wax collection today. So maybe you want to showcase a picture of each one of those 5 bars. And then you create each one of those as a carousel. That will help interact the user, to swipe. And swiping is good in this case. So we want them swiping. So that is a carousel. You also, of course, have a video or reels. Now, very recently, Adam from Instagram actually came on and he talked about how Instagram was going to be changing and going to literally one video format. So basically taking any reels or videos or lives or things that you do and putting it in one spot on your Instagram. So profiles will be updating to include that, but right now you still of course have the same features. You have the ability to do a reel, which if you haven't heard what a reel is, or maybe you've just not gotten on the internet in the last year or so, a reel is kind of like a TikTok. Think of it that way, okay? You have up to 90 seconds to create your work of art. Now, for me personally, I love to stick to what I love best, and that is sharing my Scentsy. So a lot of times my reels will consist of maybe showing how I'm working behind the scenes, or maybe it's showing how I'm making samples. It also may be just a reel of using different products, right? Or using one product and showcasing that. Other times I will do reels on more of like an informational or a training basis, like this is how I'm doing this, right? So those are the types of things that you can think about sharing when you're looking to what do I create when it comes to reels, okay? Of course, then you have stories, which if you're on Facebook, then you probably get the concept of stories. I do consider though, Facebook has gotten better. Hold on, let me back it up for a quick hot minute. So Facebook has gotten better, I will say that, at including the stories and bringing them forward, simply because Facebook wants people to be watching more stories. And for the most part, I think that people are starting to get the concept. But here's the thing. In the world of Facebook, we become pretty complacent. We usually, when we're on Facebook, we're usually doing like the same things, right? Either you're going to a group or a page. Maybe you're just somebody who scrolls the feed. Maybe you're like my husband who just simply loves to watch the Facebook videos on Facebook Watch, right? So depending on what you're doing, you'll probably notice a trend of what you're usually going towards, right? And so stories can get kind of lost on Facebook. So to combat that, what Facebook has done is they've started putting stories into the feeds. So now you're going to start seeing, if you haven't already, starting to see those stories and also the reels that are on Facebook as well. Same as Instagram. Remember, Instagram and Facebook are both Meta. So they are under the Meta umbrella. So they're both basically working in tandem. So that's why you see the same types of things on both platforms. All right. So we've got all of that covered, right? Now let's dig in a little bit deeper, right? Maybe you are finding that you are either just getting started on Instagram, maybe you've been on it for a while, but you're finding that you're not getting a lot of views or interaction or any kind of action on your Instagram, and you're like, what the heck is happening here? So we're going to break this down into 2 different categories, okay? These are ways that you can actually take what I like to call a self-audit. I do this with a lot of different things in my business, but in particular, I do a self-audit on my Instagram at the end of every single month. I do this because for me, Instagram has, well, okay, first and foremost, I'm not gonna, hide the truth here, right? Instagram is my favorite platform, right? If I had my choice of all the platforms, it would be Instagram in a heartbeat. That's where I would live. But alas, I have a business and I have different things and training groups and all kinds of things that I need to be doing on Facebook. So I am on Facebook too, but if it were to go away, I'd be fine, honestly. I would make things work. So for me, Instagram is, it's my baby. It's where I like to hang out. So that's where you will find me most of the time. But that's why I also find that I tend to have better success with being able to really track and do that self-audit. So let's talk about those 2 concepts, right? Okay, the first one is reach. And when we talk about reach, here's the actual definition of reach. Reach is your estimated number of unique accounts that have seen your post, your reel, or your story. So unique accounts. So that is a specific account that is seeing what you're posting, okay? Or Instagram. Instagram recognizes that as being seen, whether it's in your feed, whether it's in your stories, whether it's in that reels, whatever it is, okay? The other piece of Instagram that we really want to take a look at is impressions. Now, the impressions, that includes repeat views of your post or reel or story from a specific account. Okay, so that means maybe account A over here is consistently looking at everything that you post, whether it's on your feed and they're going to your personal profile, or they are looking at your stories, or every time you post a reel, they are watching it, and maybe they're watching it again and again because maybe you've done something, right, that they want to learn or they want to rewatch. It's caught their attention. It has slowed the scroll, right? It's stopped it. They're rewatching. So that's the impression, right? So impression for me really holds more value than reach. Reach is great, and both of these factors when you're looking at your Instagram are really going to help you to see what is working, right? Remember I talked about that self-audit, okay? Self-audit is just what I do, like I said, with every other aspect of my business, with all of my systems and everything else. But I do this at the end of every month because I want to see what content am I putting out that is getting the most reach and the most impressions, okay? Those are the 2 factors that go hand in hand when you are really trying to scale your profile on Instagram, okay? So how do we find these things? Okay, so you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna open up your Instagram, you're gonna go to your profile, you're gonna click the 3 lines, right? So that's your menu button up in the upper right-hand corner. Click that, you're gonna go down to account, and then you're going to go to, okay, oh, I'm sorry, no. You're gonna hit those 3 lines, you're gonna go to insights, you're gonna go to, and then you can select reels or posts depending on what you wanna look at, and then you're going to see what is working, because then you can also, there's a filter at the top as well. When you're picking reels or all content, right? You can choose your date range that you want to look at, okay? I believe it defaults to the last year. Now, for me personally, I want to see more than just the last year, right? Because I want to see maybe over the course of the year, maybe I was being very consistent on Instagram earlier in the year, but I'm not so much anymore, right? That's going to skew my insights. I'm not going to really get the most reliable information on what's working and what's not working. So I always just default to the last 3 months. So I click that as the filter, and then it will show, and it starts at the beginning, right? And it goes from the very top performing all the way down, okay? So you could take a nice little average. You could look at the very top line. I think that's like the top 3 or 4, you know, the grid style, and then scroll all the way to the bottom and see what those last 4 are, 3 or 4, okay? And then just kind of look at what your average is, right? So, or you could just manually average it out, but I usually just will kind of look in the middle and see what is my average reach. I do the same thing with my impressions, and so I'm looking at that. So going to insights, selecting reels or posts, and that's when you can really see what's working and what's not, okay? But make sure that you pull that filter down for the date, okay? So again, you're not skewing your results. So I can see, and for an example, I did this morning. So I went on and I filtered it by my posts to see what was the most top performing posts that I've had in the last 3 months when it came to reach, right? Remember, reach is how many unique people are seeing that, okay? And so I was able to see, okay, well, for me, it happens to be my Wax Change Wednesday. It happens to be the samples that I'm making, and so on and so forth. Then when I looked at, that was posts. When I looked at my reels, I did the same thing. I just went through the same parameters and looked at reels. And when I looked at reels, I saw that my most top performing reels were ones that I had taken audio and used like an audio, and either did like the lip syncing thing or whatever and applied it to either me and my branding or Scentsy in general. And so now I know, right, what is getting the most interaction, right? Because here's the thing, you guys. It's not just the numbers, okay? The numbers can come and go, because let me tell you this right here now before we go any further. There are a lot of accounts on Instagram specifically that are just bots, random accounts, okay? They are just not doing anything. It's people just creating accounts and spamming or looking for leads or whatever it is that they're doing on Instagram, right? So if you are really digging down into your niche, right? And so for us in our Scentsy business, that is Scentsy, right? Because that's where I'm at with my business and my branding. So I need to look at what is performing, and I need to be making sure that I'm sticking to what my followers are wanting to see, right? Because those are the things, the reach and the impression, that are telling me what are the most popular things, okay? So I'm able to do that self-audit. So another way that you can really help to boost that, well, let's talk about how to boost that reach and impression. Now that you've found it, right? You know what's working, and you kind of can see what's not working as well, right? So now you can adjust, you can start throwing out more content like that. Now, here's where the comparison game is going to bite you in the ass, okay? It's going to bite you because you cannot compare. I can't compare my stats of impression or reach compared to my director, right? Because her reach and impression is going to be very different for her branding and what she is posting, right? Mine is unique to me. So playing the comparison game here, you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. You're going to go in circles all day long. If you say, oh, but look, their post is getting so much more attention, why isn't mine getting attention? Well, your followers, your people, your target audience, this is what they want to see from you. Okay, so that comparison game has to stop. It has to stop. No matter, and I mean, I can apply that to all things, but when you are trying to grow your following and your business on Instagram, let go of the comparison game. Let go. bye-bye, see you, bye-bye, bye-bye now, bye-bye. It is gone, okay? You need to get rid of it. That's how we're going to tackle how to increase our reach and our impression. Another thing that I have is a really great way to help build your audience is to collab with someone else that's in your niche, okay? Someone else who is doing similar things to what you're doing. And that may look like reaching out to somebody maybe you've never even talked to and just saying, hey, would you mind doing a collab? Or have you thought about doing a collab? I'd like to do something like this, right? And throwing them an idea and tossing it out there. And they're either going to want to work with you or not. So it kind of depends on the person and what your concept is. And of course, the content. It all comes down to the content, right? Okay. Because when you are doing a collab reel or post, right? When you're having that collaboration on there, that post or that reel is being seen by all of your audience and by all of theirs. So you're doubling your platform when you are doing a collab. So that's really going to help you grow your following on Instagram. But remember, you've got to stick with your niche, okay? You've got to stick with what's working for you. All right, this is the one that I love, 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 and I think people overlook this all the time, and that is to reuse and recycle. I know, it's not just about saving the earth, right? Reuse and recycle. You have content. You have content, my friends. So if you see that specific things are working when you're looking at that reach and that impression, right? If you're seeing that certain things are working, then look to see what you've posted before. Just because you've posted it once doesn't mean that your entire following saw when you posted it that one time. Now, it may have gotten a really great reach, a really great impression. That's fine. But every time you use that, not only is it going to help build and maintain your reach and impression, but you're also going to hopefully find new people that are going to begin following you for the content that you are putting out. Okay. So this is huge. Now, I will say, you can also repurpose this content on different platforms. This is one of my best hacks when it comes to putting things out on social media. But you have to really be specific when you're putting content out on different platforms. Here's why. Okay, remember I said that Facebook and Instagram are Meta, right? They are all under the same umbrella. But when I post the same reel that I do on Instagram and I put it on Facebook, I do not get the same insights. Why? Because my viewing or my following on Instagram looks different than my following that's on Facebook, right? So you need to look at those two things together. If it's something that can work for both, then by all means, share it on Facebook as well, right? Same thing with TikTok. You can go onto TikTok and you can throw things out there on TikTok as well that maybe you've done. Now, when you are crossing the border, so to speak, from Meta, for example, into TikTok world, okay, you're going to have to get in there and you're going to have to really conform to the TikTok audience, right? And what is the TikTok audience like? They like to see the different things that are specific to TikTok, okay? So maybe it's the music, maybe it's changing the music. Maybe you've done a great reel and you used a certain music or a certain audio on Instagram. When you go to reuse that video and put it on TikTok, look for a trending audio for TikTok, not the one that was on Instagram, okay? Those are the things that you really need to watch for. But recycling your content, it's not only gonna be a huge time saver for you, but why let things go that have done so well, right? You're going to be able to gain more audience, and trust me, even your followers, they're not going to complain. Now, if you do this every single day or every single week, well, they're going to catch on real quick. This is a loop, right? So you got to mix it up, but don't be afraid to reuse that content, okay? Throw it back in there and get it seen again. Another thing that you really need to do is really listen to Instagram. Okay, so if this is something that you're putting your focus into, then what you need to do is you have got to tune into Instagram. If you are not following Instagram, you need to follow Instagram. Yeah, it's just at Instagram. Okay, follow them. You'll be able to see what Instagram is really looking for when it comes from a creator standpoint, right? So you need to be following that. You also need to be following the Instagram blog, and you can, of course, find all of those links. But let me tell you, when you are really listening to what Instagram is saying on what they're pushing right now, what they're working towards, here's what we're wanting out of the platform right now. They are very upfront, honest, and pretty transparent when they're telling us the things that they want to be seeing, right? Reels being one of them, okay? And utilizing the aspects of the tools that are available on the platform. So those are just an example of some of the things, but make sure that you are tuning into Instagram. They're going to be able to help you. That's their goal, right? They want you using their platform. So they want you to be using the things that they're talking about, right? Or the things that they're trying and testing. They're going to be telling you right up front, this is what we want to see. Okay, so listen in. Another thing is that you have to engage. I know. It seems like such a foreign concept, but time and time again, the number one thing that I see people doing when they ask me why my Instagram isn't working, how come these posts aren't working, it's because you are not engaging on Instagram. Instagram is social media, same as Facebook, same as TikTok, same as Snapchat. It's all social. And the whole point of the platform is to see people interacting with other people. So what we call a ghost follower is somebody who maybe you're following somebody, but you never comment, you never like, you never interact with that account. You are a ghost follower if you're doing that, okay? And here's the thing. If you're a ghost follower to somebody in your niche, that is going to, again, shoot you in the other foot, because the algorithm behind the scenes, right, that's working Instagram is seeing, are you showing up? Are you being social with other people in your niche? Because if you are, then it knows what category to put you in, right? It knows what content you're putting out, and it knows what content you are interacting with. So the more that you are interacting with the same niche, the same content that you are wanting to do is better, right? Okay, it's better, and it's going to help you show up. The algorithm, I know it's the big scary A word, but here's the thing. You need to drop the whole thing with the algorithm. Just seriously, drop it, okay? Let it go. Be Elsa and let it go, because if you want to sit around and blame the algorithm for why you are not progressing on your Instagram, you're going to spend more time complaining about that than you are thinking of new ways to bring in new content. So if you are someone like me, right? Like I love Instagram, and so I will see what's popular, what's trending, what is the audio that is trending right now, right? Remember I said for me, my impressions and my reach, I was getting more value when I was using the audio, right, of other users. So when I'm looking for audio, I'm looking to see, number one, what's trending, and number two, how can I take that and then pull it into my niche? How can I put my spin on it with either my branding or my content or the picture or the reel or whatever it is that I'm doing, right? That's what you want to do. So stop blaming the algorithm, because here's the thing. I hear everybody just blatantly and if I ask them, have you looked at your insights? What's performing well? What's not performing well? They're like, I have no idea. Well, okay, here's the thing. We're not perfect, right? We may think that we're putting out all the things and we're doing all the things. But if you're really not looking at your stats, if you're not looking at the insights, then you're not going to do yourself any justice. You're literally going to spin your wheels. And that's 9 times out of 10 when I hear people say, well, it's the algorithm. No, it's not. No, it's not, sis. It is simply you not doing your homework. You have to do your homework, figure out what's working for you specifically. Because again, remember, we're not playing the comparison game and we're not blaming the algorithm. So we have got to do our own personal homework. We got to figure it out. What's working? And then we need to engage with other people who are in the same niche as we are. Okay? That is how we are going to grow. You have to be doing the engagement piece though. If you're not, if you're that ghost follower, well, I'm sorry, but those days are over. So you need to buckle up. You need to really get ready, because if you are serious about growing your business on social media, if you are serious about trying to figure out how to up your Instagram game, then these are the things that you need to start doing. And you're going to have to do that self-audit. For me, like I said, I happen to do it at the end of every month. And that is just something that has become a habit for me. It's part of my systems that I go through every single end of month. And so that's why I want you guys to make sure that you're looking at your insights, because that's what's going to clue you in on what's working and what's not. Now, you will also hear people talk about shadow banning. And shadow banning means that you've done something that has gone against their terms of service, okay? So in order to check that, you can go to your profile again, the 3 lines, okay? So go to your menu, go to settings, go to account, and then click on account status. And if you go in there and it says your account is in good standing, then you're good, okay? That means you aren't coming off spammy. You're not using millions of hashtags. You're really living according to the terms of service with Instagram, okay? If you do see something on there, then obviously, hello, red flag. That's what we need to start not doing, okay, right? We're gonna stop doing that. Another thing that I will also share with you is if you are constantly looking to fill up your page with hashtags because you think that's going to get you seen better, let me tell you right now, it is not going to help you leverage your Instagram. You are probably spending more time typing, or if you're just copying and pasting them in, however it is that you're putting it in there, you're going to waste more time doing it that way. Really narrow down your niche. If you're putting in these broad hashtags, then that broad audience that you're trying to go for, they're probably not going to see your content. I'm just being real with you. So really kind of pare down your hashtags. Are hashtags important? Absolutely, they're important, okay? I don't even know how many hashtags I follow anymore, but people follow hashtags on Instagram. Again, based on what they're looking for. Okay, so that's why you have to be very specific with your hashtags. Don't use broad, generic hashtags like happy, okay? The hashtag happy is not necessarily talking to your followers. It's not your target audience, right? I mean, hopefully your target audience is happy, but you know what I mean, right? We need to be more specific. So maybe when it comes to Scentsy, right? Maybe that is scent obsessed, or I love how my house smells. I don't know. There's tons of different ways that you can be just very specific to what you're doing, right? So be specific and be more authentic in those hashtags, because again, those broader hashtags, they're not doing you any good. They just aren't. So we're going to engage. We're going to tune into Instagram. We're going to listen to see what they're telling us. And we are really going to do a self-audit every single month. If once a month is too much for you, then by all means, do it every 3 months. Okay. If doing every 3 months is too much for you, do it every 6 months. But if you are really trying to grow that Instagram, doing it on a monthly basis is really going to help you more and more and more in the long run, because it's going to help you narrow down what you need to be posting. So that way you're only focusing on the content that you know is appealing to your followers, is something of value, and it's going to get them to slow their scroll and stop and pay attention and do all the things. So that's where we want to be with Instagram. I want you to take these tips, move forward. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram because I'm always sharing content there. And of course, in my stories, I'm taking you behind the scenes and all the things that I do. And of course, if you found this helpful when it comes to your Scentsy business, then please subscribe and like, and I will be sure to give you some comment love back. And I want to wish you all a great week. So there you go. Get your Instagram game going strong, and you are going to find more success. Peace, love, happiness. Bye.